We were so excited when we first laid eyes on the land we would build our future home on.
The Midwest terrain offers beautiful landscapes and wildlife.
We knew we had a lot of work ahead of us to get the land ready to put a home on.
We started this process last year. Keep watching to see what we have accomplished so far. Hi, we're Chris and Sarah.
And we've decided to build our dream home together. It all started with paper and pencil.
We're just your average, everyday family with the same successes and struggles as many.
We hope you'll join us on our journey to build our dream home. So as you can see here, we're up on a tall hill that overlooks a valley on one side. On the other side, you can see a great view of the canyons behind you. But it does turn out that you can't just stick a house on top of a hill. You can see that there's lots of cedars in the area, and that had to come down first. This proved to be a ton of work. We cut these down, and they are now currently in a large pile. We haven't quite decided if we'll burn them or haul them off somewhere. The tree work was all done last summer in 2022. We had many days that were over 100 degrees, and it was hot. A year later, and I swear I could still smell the cedar trees. We had several large cedar trees that left some really large trunks in the ground. We definitely didn't want to leave those in the ground, so we had to dig several of them up. Thanks Uncle Frank for letting us use the mini excavator. After most of the trees were out, we knew we were going to have to excavate part of the hill so we could have a flat area for the home. And now it's time to rent a dozer. And Chris was super excited about this part, although it ended up being a little more work than we anticipated. It's a good thing he knows how to operate these machines. I have to admit, it was a little unsettling watching my husband push a bunch of dirt off the edge of the 100-foot drop.
I reassured her a couple times that I was a professional and then it'd be just fine. In all seriousness, running the dozer was a little more difficult than I initially thought. I've operated them before, just never in a real-life application where I had a project to do. And this was a massive project.
It was a pretty cool day though. The weather was beautiful. I was able to snap some pretty awesome photos.
You can definitely tell that the finished grade isn't up to par right now. We were really just moving a bunch of dirt. It didn't really matter what it looked like at the moment. Later on, we get it smoothed out and at a consistent grade.
This is a quick time-lapse video of when we started digging to when we stopped. The whole process took a few days of work. It's amazing how much dirt this machine can move. In total, we probably took about 8 to 10 feet off the top of this hill. Our entire building is 56 feet by 104 feet long. We thought this would be enough space and it would give us room for the building and some space around it for driveways and vehicles. We didn't want to take it down too much because we still want to maintain the view of the valley here and the canyons behind us. So we felt like the higher we were, the better the view would be. You can see that the area is starting to look nice and flat. We were pretty happy with the progress that we were making. We were on hold after the excavation because the weather was changing. We knew we had to wait until winter came and went before we could start digging the foundation for our building. This waiting period ended up being a blessing. We went up there several times in the winter and quickly learned that we need to take this hill down even more.
Yeah, the driveway was about a 15% slope at its most extreme, which is a little excessive. We didn't want it that high. We didn't want to have to fight that all the time. So getting another rental and taking it down more, that's going to be needed.
Getting a vehicle to the top, especially in winter, is near impossible. Here in the Midwest, our winters can prove to be brutal. Hopefully in a couple short weeks, we plan to rent Dozer number 2. Taking this hill down even more will give us more space on top and will also help provide an easier, safer approach with the driveway we build. Shortly after that, we will begin to dig footings for our home, and the exciting work will begin.
So in total, we put about 11 hours on this D6, which was fantastic. It really started to make our dream come to life. Seeing that transform to just a big hill to a flat spot was amazing.
And here's some before and after of what we've done so far. This one is looking towards the south. And this one is looking towards the north. Stay tuned to watch our journey.